Day of Judgment. What really happens in Islam? Introduction. The Day of Judgment, or Yawm al-Qiyamah, is a cornerstone of Islamic belief, significantly shaping the moral and spiritual life of Muslims. This pivotal event encompasses the resurrection of all humanity, their subsequent judgment, and the final determination of their eternal destinies based on their deeds and faith. The Quran and Hadith provide comprehensive details about this day, outlining what happens, the events leading up to it, and its significance in Islamic theology. The concept of the Day of Judgment. In Islam, the Day of Judgment represents the ultimate reckoning, where Allah will manifest supreme justice. It is a day when every action, intention, and thought is examined, and each person is held accountable for their life's deeds. This belief is firmly grounded in Islamic scripture, with numerous references in the Quran and Hadith detailing its significance and the events that will unfold. Quranic descriptions. The Quran frequently refers to the Day of Judgment, emphasizing its certainty and magnitude. Surah al-Qiyamah 75:1-3 states, I swear by the day of resurrection, and I swear by the self-reproaching soul. Does man think that we will not gather his bones? Yes, we are able, even to proportion his fingertips. This passage underscores the reality and meticulous nature of resurrection and judgment. Another significant reference is in Surah Az-Zalzala 99:1-8. When the earth is shaken with its final earthquake, and the earth discharges its burdens, and man says, what is wrong with it? That day it will report its news, because your Lord has commanded it. These verses highlight the transformative and revelatory nature of the Day of Judgment. Hadith descriptions. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, provided detailed insights into the Day of Judgment through Hadith. For instance, he described various signs that will precede the day and the nature of the events that will unfold. One hadith from Sahih Bukhari mentions, the hour will not come until the people compete with one another in constructing high buildings. This hadith reflects some of the signs that will precede the final day, illustrating the profound changes that will occur in the world. The signs preceding the Day of Judgment. Islamic eschatology includes several signs that will precede the Day of Judgment. These are categorized into minor and major signs, each indicating the approach of the final day. Minor signs. 1. Moral decay, an increase in corruption, dishonesty, and immorality among people. 2. Technological advancements, rapid developments in technology and communication. 3. Global conflicts, an increase in wars, conflicts, and widespread violence. Major signs. 1. Appearance of the Dajjal, the false Messiah or Antichrist who will deceive many. 2. Return of Isa as. Jesus will return to defeat the Dajjal and restore justice. 3. Emergence of Gog and Magog, Yajuj and Majuj, destructive forces that will cause chaos. 4. The final battle, a significant battle between the forces of good and evil. These signs, detailed in various hadith, act as precursors to the final day, preparing humanity for the impending events. The events of the Day of Judgment. The Day of Judgment unfolds in several key stages, each marked by significant events. 1. The resurrection. The first stage is the resurrection, where all deceased individuals are brought back to life. The Quran describes this event in Surah al-Qiyamah 75:6-9. He wonders why the day of resurrection is delayed. But when the sight is dazzled and the moon is eclipsed and the sun and the moon are joined, man will say on that day, where is the refuge? This resurrection is followed by a grand assembly where individuals will await their judgment. Nays. 2. The gathering. After resurrection, all people will be gathered on a vast plain. This gathering is described in Surah Al-Kahf 1847. The day we will remove the mountains and you will see the earth prominent, and we will gather them and not leave behind from them anyone. No. The plain will be devoid of shade except for the shade of Allah's throne, emphasizing the extreme conditions of the day. 3. The presentation of deeds. Each individual's deeds will be presented in a book. This book will contain a detailed record of every action performed during one's life. Surah Al-Isra 17:13-14 states, And we have imposed upon every man his fate upon his neck. And we will produce for him on the day of resurrection a record which he will encounter spread open. It will be said, Read your record. Sufficient is yourself against you this day as accountant. The presentation of deeds will be a crucial moment where individuals confront the full scope of their actions. 4. The Judgment. Following the presentation of deeds, the judgment will take place. This is where Allah will assess each person's actions and intentions. Surah Al-Haqqah 69:19-21 describes this process. Then as for he who is given his record in his right hand, he will be judged with an easy account and return to his people in happiness. But as for he who is given his record behind his back, he will cry out for destruction and enter a burning fire. The judgment will determine whether an individual's actions warrant reward or punishment. 5. The bridge over hell, Sirat. After judgment, individuals will cross the Sirat, a bridge stretched over hell. The Prophet Muhammad (PBUH) described the Sirat in Hadith. The Sirat is a bridge that is thinner than a hair and sharper than a sword. The crossing of the Sirat will be a test of faith and righteousness, with the faithful successfully passing over it to enter paradise. 6. The final abode, paradise and hell. The final stage is the determination of each individual's eternal abode. The righteous will enter paradise, while the wicked will be cast into hell. In Siu, paradise or Jannah, is depicted as a place of eternal bliss, peace, and reward. Surah Al-Insan 76:11-12 describes it. And their reward will be paradise and silk garments because they were patient. They will be reclining on adorned couches. They will not see therein any burning sun or freezing cold. Hell or Jahannam is described as a place of intense suffering and punishment. Surah Al-Mulk 67:6-7 states, And for those who disbelieved in their Lord is the punishment of hell, and wretched is the destination. When they are thrown into it, they hear it roaring as it boils up. The eternal destinations reflect the outcomes of the final judgment. The significance of the Day of Judgment. The Day of Judgment holds profound significance in Islamic belief and practice. 1. Reinforcement of accountability. The belief in the Day of Judgment reinforces personal accountability. It emphasizes that every action, no matter how small, is recorded and will be judged. This belief encourages individuals to live righteously and adhere to Islamic teachings. 2. Affirmation of divine justice. The Day of Judgment affirms Allah's ultimate justice. It ensures that all individuals receive their due rewards or punishments based on their actions. This concept addresses the perceived injustices of worldly life, providing a framework for divine justice. 3. Motivation for righteous living. Belief in the Day of Judgment motivates Muslims to live ethically and uphold Islamic values. It acts as a deterrent against sinful behavior and inspires believers to seek forgiveness and strive for moral excellence. 4. The final fulfillment of prophetic messages. The Day of Judgment is the culmination of the messages delivered by all prophets. It validates the teachings of previous prophets and emphasizes the finality of the message brought by Prophet Muhammad (PBUH). Conclusion. The Day of Judgment in Islam represents the ultimate reckoning of human actions and faith. It encompasses resurrection, judgment, and the final determination of one's eternal fate. The Quran and Hadith provide detailed descriptions of the events that will unfold on this day. offering Muslims a framework for understanding its significance. This belief profoundly shapes Islamic ethics, motivating believers to live righteous lives and adhere to divine principles. The Day of Judgment is not merely a future event, but a guiding principle that influences the moral and spiritual conduct of Muslims throughout their